we'll be looking at the area and perimeter of rectangles and squares. So first off, the perimeter is the sum of the lengths of the sides of a figure. So you add up all of the sides around a figure. So the perimeter of a rectangle can be represented by 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because if you think of a rectangle, there are 2 lengths, so length plus length is 2L, and there are 2 widths, and W plus W is 2W. The perimeter of a square is represented by 4S, where S is the side length, because all the sides are going to be the same of a square, so 4 times the side lengths. Remember, perimeter is always positive. The area is the number of square units contained in a region. So we have to figure out how many square units are inside of it. What I mean by square units is if I draw a rectangle and I measure, let's say, an inch in each direction, then each of these would be a square unit. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. So if the length was 6 units and the width was 3, it would be 6 times 3 is 18. And as you can see, there's 18 units inside of this rectangle. The area of a square is just side squared, because all the sides are going to be the same because it's a square. So really you're doing length times width, but you're just doing it times itself because it's the same number. Area is always positive as well. All right, so let's try some out. I want you to pause the video for each question, try it first, and then come back and see how you did. So we're going to find the perimeter and area of the rectangle. So the perimeter is going to be 2 times the length, so 2 times 10, plus 2 times the width. So 20 plus 12 equals 32 centimeters. Don't forget your unit. Now the area is going to be length times width. So 10 times 6, which equals 60 centimeters squared. For area, you have to put a squared in the unit because area is two-dimensional because it takes into account length and width multiplying. All right, so find the perimeter and area of the rectangle. Before we do anything, we have to figure out the missing side. If it's a rectangle, it has a right angle. So we could figure out x by using the Pythagorean theorem. Now you know that 13 is your hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. So 5 squared plus x squared equals 13 squared. 25, sorry, that's terrible too. 25 plus x squared equals 169. Subtract the 25. And to finish it off, you take the square root of 144. So x equals 12. So this length is 12. So the perimeter is going to be 12. So 2 times 12 plus 2 times 5. We don't use the 13 for perimeter because it's not on the outside. But we did use it to help us find our answer for the outside. So 34 feet. Now let's do the same thing here. Length times width, so 12 times 5 is 60 feet squared. So hopefully you did all right with those rectangles. Now let's say I tell you that the perimeter is 20. Remember your formulas. Perimeter equals 2L plus 2W. So 20 is the perimeter, so instead of P, I'm going to write 20 equals 2 times 4. Really, you could put L or W here. They're interchangeable. Plus 2W. 20 equals 8 plus 2W. Subtract 8. 12 equals 2W. And divide by 2. So W equals 6. I guess it's length, sorry. Same thing, though, 6 feet. If it wants in the length or the width, you can do the same formula. So if this is 6, the area will be 4 times 6, which is 24 feet squared. All right, the length of a rectangular garden is 20 feet longer than the width. Which equation best describes the garden's perimeter? So remember, perimeter is 2L plus 2W. If we know that the length is, remember, is means equal, 20 feet longer than the width, so 20 feet longer would mean W plus 20. Then instead of writing L here, I can say P equals 2 times W plus 20 plus 2W. And that is going to be answer choice J. The substitution, if L is W plus 20, instead of L, I can write W plus 20. The area of the shaded portion of the rectangle is 440 square feet. I want to know the area of the whole thing, of just the unshaded region. So the area of the whole thing would be 30 times x. That would equal the area of the whole thing. If I subtract 440, though, from the whole thing, I'm left with the unshaded region, am I not? So let's go ahead and do that then. So it's going to be 30x minus 440 will give me the unshaded region, and that is going to be answer choice J. All right, let's move on to squares now. Let's go ahead and find the perimeter and area of the square. So remember, perimeter equals 4 times the side length. So 4 times 3 is 12 meters. And area is side squared. So 3 squared equals 9 meters squared. Remember, you should be pausing through these problems to see if you can do them and see if you know it before I tell you the answer. All right, so here we have the hypotenuse of the right triangle, and now it's a square. So that means that this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. To go from your 90 side to your 45 side, you have to divide by square root of 2. So you're left with just 8 for each side. So for the perimeter, it's going to be 4 times 8, which equals 32 meters. And for the area, it's going to be 8 squared, which equals 64 meters squared. All right, now I'm telling you the perimeter is 24 for the square. Remember, perimeter equals 4s. So if I know that p equals 24, I can say 24 equals 4s and divide by 4. So s equals 6 inches. And then, of course, the area is just going to be 6 squared, which equals 36 inches squared. All right, now we got a composite figure to look at. Composite is when I combine a bunch of shapes together. We need to go ahead and divide this shape into multiple rectangles to help us solve this nice and easily. There's a couple ways you can divide it, but this is the way I'm going to choose to do it. It's not very good drawing, I'm sorry. So the whole side here is 18. This piece is 5, this piece is 8, so that gives me 13. So I need 5 more for this to make 18. All right, so if we look at this bottom rectangle, it's 20 times 8, which is 160. Now, if we look here at this rectangle, it's 18 times 5, which is 90. All we need to find is this piece right here. If the whole thing is 20, and I have 9 already, then that means 11 is left here. So 11 times 5 is 55. So the area is going to be 90 plus 55 plus 160, which is going to be 305. Now to find the perimeter, I just add up all the outside edges. So 18 plus 18 is 36, plus 20, plus 8, plus 9, plus 5, plus 5 again. And, oh, I need that piece as well right there. So let's see here. This piece all the way across is 18, and this is 11, so what's left? 7. So plus 7. So 18 plus 18 plus 20, 56, 64, 73, 78, 83, 90 is the perimeter. So make sure you can do those composite shapes by breaking them into multiple shapes. And finally, let's look at this. Find the perimeter and area of the rectangle in terms of x. So 2L plus 2W is the perimeter. So 2 times x plus 6 plus 2 times x. So that gives me 2x plus 12, because you have to do the 2 to both items, plus 2x. So 4x plus 12 is the perimeter. And the area is length times width. So x times x plus 6 multiplied everything. X times x is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. So x squared plus 6x. Please make sure you do the worksheet on rectangles and squares, and thank you for watching.